Picture a sprawling Michigan ranch where Boy Scouts learn to ride horses, shoot rifles, and build campfires under starry skies. Now, imagine the same ranch, the DBarA Scout Ranch in Metamora, Michigan, fighting for survival, not against nature, but against a small town that won't let it mine the gravel beneath its hills. For over 30 years, the Scouts have battled Metamora Township to extract 30 million tons of gravel to fund their camp, only to face a brick wall of residents who dread 100 gravel trucks tearing through their quaint village daily. But here's the real drama. The Scouts are broke, leasing the land and just trying to stay afloat. And Metamora's refusal might be holding the future of thousands of campers hostage. This is a story of Scouts versus small town charm. It's messy, gritty, the DBarA's legacy. Since 1950, the DBarA Scout Ranch has been a haven for Scouts, schools, and churches, sprawling across 1,800 acres at 880 East Sutton Road in Metamora Township, about an hour north of Detroit. With 3 spring-fed lakes, 11 miles of hiking trails, and a herd of horses, longhorn cattle, and a 32-foot climbing tower, it's a Scout's dream camp. As a camper raved on the ranch's Facebook page in 2025, it's my second home, where I learned leadership and grit. The ranch hosts unique programs like the Ranch Hand Experience, where Scouts weld metal and care for livestock, prepping for treks like Philmont. Events like the Crank for a Cause gravel bike race draw crowds, ironically, celebrating the terrain the Scouts want to mine. But the DBarA camp isn't just about campfires, it's been a lifeline for Metamora's economy. Scout families visiting for summer camps or weekend programs dine at the White Horse Inn, Michigan's oldest restaurant, and grab a coffee at local spots like Leo's Country Kitchen. One local business owner, quoted anonymously in a 2016 County Press article, admitted, "Scout families keep my diner buzzing in July." The ranch's 28 heated cabins and year-round events bring steady foot traffic, boosting Metamora's small businesses and putting the village on the map. The Scouts' financial freefall. Here's where things get rough. The Boy Scouts of America, once a well-funded institution, hit hard times in the 2010s. Membership dwindled, and a 2020 bankruptcy filing driven by lawsuits over historical abuse claims left the Michigan Crossroads Council in a financial tailspin. The DBarA, labeled yellow in a 2019 council evaluation, was bleeding $160,000 annually, though it improved to a $90,000 a year deficit by cutting costs and boosting attendance. To survive, the Scouts leased most of their 1,800 acres for farming. Think cornfields and soybeans instead of campfires, just to avoid selling the land outright. By 2025, they can only afford to run a 1-week summer camp down from multiple sessions, and just recently laid off most of their ranch staff, including the head ranger, leaving just a skeleton crew to maintain the ranch. As a Scout leader told the county press in 2019, "We're barely keeping the lights on." The gravel beneath DBarA, 30 million tons of it, is their lifeline. A lease with the American Aggregates of Michigan, a subsidiary of Edward C. Levy Company, promises royalties to fund cabins, trails, and programs. In 2019, consultant Bob Doyle told the township that 75 soil borings confirmed the gravel's value for Detroit's construction boom. But here's the catch. Gravel prices have stagnated, and Michigan's market is oversupplied. With existing mines in Lapeer County meeting demand, the Scouts' golden ticket might be worth less than they hoped, but it's still their best shot at survival. The gravel plan and Metamora's pushback. The Scouts first pitched mining in 1984, calling it Building a Lake with Ajax Paving Industries. The township saw through the ruse and rejected it, leading to a federal lawsuit that the Scouts lost. A 1991 deal banned mining for 20 years, with the Scouts paying Metamora $10,000 for legal fees. In 2004, they tried again with Liberty Sand and Gravel, proposing a 283-acre mine. Metamora said no, prompting another lawsuit. By 2015, the Scouts and American Aggregates pushed for a 497-acre mine to extract 30 million tons over 30 years, with about 100 daily trucks on Dryden Road through Metamora's historic village, a Michigan State Historic Site since 1984. Metamora, with its horse carriages and tree-lined streets, erupted. Residents like Rob Champion, whose home faces the proposed mine's entrance, feared noise, dust, and trucks, one every 3 minutes at peak hours. "There's gravel all over the country," Champion told the Detroit News in 2016. "They don't have to go through a town with one stoplight." Victor Zenawagas, co-owner of the White Horse Inn, fumed, "It will destroy the village." The Metamora Land Preservation Alliance, formed in 2005, rallied 1,200 petition signatures and packed hearings with "Stop the Pit" buttons, some handed out by an Oxford Scout troop. Talk about Scouts versus Scouts. The town's hardline. Metamora's resistance isn't just about charm, it's about survival. The proposed haul route through the village's historic heart threatens its horse country vibe and nearby wells. especially with an EPA Superfund site, a former GM landfill with dioxane contamination next door. In 2019, 300 residents crammed the Metamora Lions Hall, rejecting the Scouts' claim that the gravel was essential for Southeast Michigan's roads. The Township Board unanimously denied the 2015 application, upheld by the courts in 2021. The MLPA, backed by lawyer Chris Bidsdock, raised $100,000 at a 2024 White Horse Inn fundraiser to fight future proposals, arguing the mine would permanently alter the Metamora Hills. But Metamora's stance has a cost. The 1991 moratorium, extended by ongoing denials, delays the Scouts' plans until the 2030s, when Metamora growth, fueled partly by Scout-driven tourism, may face new pressures. A growing town needs roads, and gravel isn't cheap. And a possibly apocryphal local planner whispered, "In 20 years, we might regret saying no when we're paving our own streets." By holding firm, Metamora resists strangling the Scouts' ability to fund DBarA, potentially forcing a sale that could end camping there altogether. The Scouts' side of the story. The Scouts aren't villains here, they're fighting to keep DBarA alive for future Scouts. The lease with American Aggregates, as outlined in the DBarAproject.com, is structured to minimize disruption. The 225 acres are preserved, berms reduce noise, and no mining goes below the water table. The Scouts argue the mine would fund upgrades like modernizing cabins or expanding the equestrian programs, ensuring the ranch remains a cornerstone of Scouting, as the Michigan Crossroads Council 2019 strategic plan states. Without it, they risk joining other closed camps, like one that sold for $1.8 million to Mid-Michigan Materials in 2019. Scout families feel Metamora is holding their kids' future hostage. A parent quoted on a 2025 Scouting forum said, "My son learned to lead at DBarA. If it closes, where will the next generation go?" The ranch's economic impact, families dining at the White Horse Inn or shopping locally, gets overlooked. In 2016, a Scout volunteer told the county press, "We bring thousands to Metamora every year, but they treat us like outsiders." The Scouts' one-week summer camp in 2025, down from 15 sessions in a summer, shows how dire things are. Layoffs, including the head ranger, mean volunteers now handle tasks like horse care, stretching resources extremely thin. The bigger picture. This fight is a microcosm of Michigan's struggle, progress versus preservation. The DBarA Scout Ranch saga pits a struggling camp against a town defending its quiet life. The Scouts, leasing land to survive, needs gravel to fund their future. But Metamora's fear of trucks and dust holds firm. Both sides have valid stakes: the Scouts' mission to shape young leaders and Metamora's fight for historic charm. As the battle drags on, the question looms: can they find a compromise, or will one side lose everything? Visit Metamora or DBarA and see the stakes for yourself, because this fight's about more than just gravel.